Going live.
Alive. I don't think we're gonna have an overflow crap.
It takes a while, thanks.
By the way, my news director texted me last night. She heard that the Oklahoma casinos didn't enable it. She's heard.
That they what?
The Oklahoma casinos, nickname Lake Hamilton.
Oh, really?
That's what she heard. Thanks for your service.
Yeah, I believe that Oklahoma's been pretty aggressive about researching.
So I don't have your number. I'm just a little ahead of everybody. You guys. There it is.
Yeah.
No, I
Gotta
don't
get
people.
some pure up.
You hope
Oh,
that's
I
bad.
They're the
It's water.
canary in the coal mine.
It says
of our
it
area.
covers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't want to be.
That stuff
They'll be
seems to
jammed
wrong.
packed.
Yeah.
As soon as they open, they'll be jammed packed.
Yeah.
No, this is
A lot of
like,
tactics
this is
for
like,
that.
Yeah, a lot of
No. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, it's.
We don't provide the we can't get it. These,
Don't forget my other mic.
these, this.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. It's easy to do.
Well, they have so much stuff.
It's definitely
It's
strong.
called the dummy check. It's a life truck operator thing
It's strong.
that, we don't like other people helping us over here to our money. Everything's out of the life truck. Their money's and it's only back. So people are start helping.
Put it down on it. You couldn't see nothing.
Here's up. They get that, so you gotta go back and say, you do.
Well, yeah, you don't want to
Fold
be
it up napkin.
down at the next destination and figure out that's behind.
Pretty concentrated.
There's like 2 cameras.
Just stay at home, so nobody brings me loud.
Everyone's heard about it. Couldn't tell you a lot of things you
Yeah,
figure
if
out.
he'd been working at home all day, he worked in Cal.
Try to get like.
Oh, yeah?
And
It's
so,
easier, just take
she's
two
too
shrimps.
short.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm trying to do is
She
not
said to me.
take as many stuff on the trip and make the trips easier.
Come on.
So anything
Yeah.
else, Jeremy said,
It's been rough.
10 o'clock?
I know.
Don't bother me, I'm out.
Well, today.
That's nice,
Every
isn't it?
day
Yeah.
that's-
And being out in the fresh air is what's best for you
As
too.
far as we
anyways.
know.
Plus training, I can't get in my
Would
garden
change
like
the
last night.
call.
I mean, we're
And where's the town hall?
You do like I did last night.
Well, it's gonna be live on that KPR.
Hate to see that.
Or what is it? Is it KRPS?
Oh, I got it.
Radio?
It's on the website. Yeah, it's.
Lauren probably.
It's the Pitt State radio station and it'll be, you
What
can
is
stream
it?
it.
KRP.
KRPS.
Yeah.
It's 89.9 on the radio, krps.org
That's the other one.
on the web, and then I think people can just use like a radio app on their phone if they want to stream it.
Take a dummy check. Sure, I got all my stuff.
Good to see you.
Are we ready?
Think so?
Yes, call the meeting Crawford County Commission to order Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. Let me start with flex sleep
I
since
was
we
gonna
already
say
did
we
it.
did it in the other
I
one.
closed the work session, so. Had a chance to look over the previous meeting minutes. Is there any corrections?
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second.
Aye. Moving on, signing the motions.
We had several motions from the last meeting to sign. The first motion is 20-182, that the consent agenda be approved. The second motion is 20-183, to open the public hearing on closing and vacating the platted alley in the town of Opolis, Crawford County, Kansas. The next motion is 20-184, to close the public hearing on closing and vacating a platted alley in the town of Opolis, Crawford County, Kansas. The next motion is 20-185, to adopt resolution number 2020-007, a resolution closing and vacating a platted alley in the town of Opolis, Crawford County, Kansas. The next motion is 20-186, to recess this open session and go into a closed executive session for a period of not more than 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, to discuss emergency management, and to include the Board of County Commissioners and County Councilor Jim Emerson, and to reconvene by 11:21 a.m. Next motion is 20-187, to recess this open session and go into a closed executive session for a period of not more than 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel and the county shop purchasing card, and to include the Board of County Commissioners, County Councilor Jim Emerson, and Road and Bridge Coordinator Alyssa Edwards, and to reconvene by 11:32 a.m. The next motion is 20-188, to approve allowing Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas to offer a secure cancer policy and a secure hospital indemnity policy to Crawford County employees. And the last motion is 20-189, to increase the credit limit on the county shop purchasing credit card through GN Bank to $2,500.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Rebecca, we'll do this a little bit different today since we just spent 2 hours talking about this, but do you want to, or we can just explain, everything's gonna be on the county website as far as
Yeah.
what we just did, and that if people have questions, they can go back and look.
Yes, so the entire reopening plan is on the Crawford County website. It is, of course, preliminary. It's a draft, so if people are interested, they can go ahead and look at that. I will also be on the radio through Pitt State on Thursday at 11. That information's on the website as well, how they can access and listen, and also how they can ask questions via email. I would like to give an update just on the health department, if that's okay.
You bet.
Sure.
So basically what we've been doing for at least the last month is pretty much, we've been testing on site, but people call first, they never come in the building, they go around the back. The Sheriff Danny Smith has let us use their trailer so that we can have an outside testing facility. All of our other programs, we have a lot of programs, all of our maternal child health programs, like Healthy Start Home Visitation, we have teen pregnancy, targeted case management, WIC, we have family planning, we have just we have Early Detection Works, we have a host of different programs. Basically, they've all been by telephone right now, even WIC. The state has dropped the requirement that you have to do the height and weight and the finger stick for hemoglobin, and we can ask the questions via telephone. They can text in their forms for WIC, and we can refill electronically their little cards for benefits. So hopefully by June, I think that's going to continue through May, pretty much everything being remote. We do have a few select people that might have to come in. It's all by phone. You know, we screen them for any symptoms Very rarely are we even having anybody come in right now, which is good. But I'm hoping by June 1st, we'll be able to get back kind of to, our regular routines and getting people in. We'll do it in a spaced out manner where we have appointments, so really spaced out through the day, especially for WIC. That's our biggest number of appointments. We haven't been over at Community Health in our WIC clinic for probably close to a month now because of all of this, and we're doing WIC all by phone, but we will be going back to our satellite clinic over there every day, and I'm hoping June 1st. We'll see. A lot of it just is determined by KDHE and their guidance, but they've already told us they're going to allow us to do by telephone throughout all of May. So actually, I think it's get more people on. We've had new people signing up for programs like Baby Me Tobacco Free. It's a program where you help pregnant women to help them stop smoking. And so you do counseling sessions with them, and they blow into this little CO monitor. It shows they haven't been smoking. And then they get a $25 diaper voucher incentive every month for the first year of their baby's life. And if their partner, anybody in the house quits smoking, it doesn't have to be the father of the child, but it could be even a parent of the mother, then they'll get another $25 diaper voucher if that person quits smoking with them. But we've been able to do that by phone, and Baby Me Tobacco Free is an evidence-based program, so we have to follow everything they tell us to do, but they let us drop the CO monitor for now. So we've been getting even more people enrolling in some of our programs because it's just been more convenient, like WIC. They don't have to come in right now and get the height and the weight and all that. It can be done by phone. So it's going good. I think our numbers are actually higher than they were before because we can do it remotely. So hopefully some of that we can keep doing, to keep getting people enrolled at higher numbers. Because all of that goes back to grants. The more people we have that we're helping, the more we qualify for. So
That's good.
yeah, it's going good.
All right.
I think that's it.
Could you, I don't remember if you talked about the new case that we had.
Yeah. So we did have a case over the weekend. We're pretty sure it was travel associated with Johnson County. So we can't prove that. There's not. They have community spread up there. So, but during the time frame where the person could have become ill, like that 14 days before they got ill, they were in Johnson County. So we're pretty sure that that is what it is. They're doing fine at home though and recovering. We don't have any other positives yet. Of course, we still have people under investigation. Everyone's still testing. We have tested several people in relation to that case, that positive case. So haven't gotten any positives back yet though. But I will say that person was tested Friday, and I got a call Saturday around 5:30. So it was like 24 hours I got that test result, and that was through, we tested them at the health department actually, and that went to KDHE. So yeah, within 24 hours we got that back.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that.
Maybe a more statewide issue. I've seen several things that put Kansas at like 49 out of 50 for this amount of testing that we're doing per capita. Do you have any insight into
Well,
why?
I think part of that, and this is just my opinion, statistically speaking, if you're going to look at the western part of our state, they're not doing much testing. So we have to remember that we have a large, and that's what KDHE is working on. When they say expanded testing, it's not testing people without symptoms. It's testing people in counties like in the northwestern part of the state that haven't had much testing yet.
At all.
Yeah, and so they are ramping that up at KDHE. Crawford County, though, we're getting close to 9%, which is very high, actually. I mean, it's very good. That's what Johnson and Wyandotte and Sedgwick, a lot of those counties were like 8.8 the last time I saw. So I think some of it is that there's certain counties in the state that haven't been testing, is kind of what I think.
I gotcha.
Yeah. We haven't heard specifically, but
It would be interesting, I guess, to see, because I haven't seen like county-specific data comparing across states or whatever, but I know the kind of the aggregate ones that draw from
Right.
a state as a whole, like Kansas. The one that I was looking at had us as a state as like 9,000 per million, whereas like the higher ones are like 40, 50,000.
right, yeah. And
So
I know
it'd
the
be
state is
percent.
working on it. They're working on some efforts to get testing into those counties. You know, anytime you have a large portion of your state that hasn't been testing, but really, I mean, when you have, 9 to 10% testing rate in the largest counties, it's different in Kansas too. We have to remember that our state is largely rural, you know, and we don't have as many people either, so that can make a difference. As if you're comparing to California or New York, there's a difference, but there is a large number of counties that haven't been testing, and that's been an issue, and KDHE is working on it. Yeah.
I gotcha. Relatedly then, have we heard anything back on the grant?
Nope, I haven't heard anything on the Kansas Health Foundation grant yet. Nothing. I've been checking.
And then I saw, Dawn, I think you had sent this out, forwarded from KAC, but what was the name of it? The CESF, I can't remember what that stood for.
Yeah,
I
the
wrote it
grant, the
down.
email that Dawn sent out yesterday. I
Yes,
did
so
see that.
you did
I
see it.
looked at it a little bit. It doesn't allow for any building. It didn't look like, because we had talked about maybe doing some sort of building,
Right.
you know, for testing or quarantine. So I don't know if there's something we want to look at from a county level applying for.
I think it had like little PPE and
Yeah.
stuff on there, the supplies as far as that.
I don't know if Rusty's here or not, but that might be something worth looking into if we want to apply for PPE. But first, we kind of need to assess how much we have and how much we need.
Right.
Because they're going to want specifics on that kind of thing.
Correct, yes.
You know, how much we want, or staff time, you know, that's something. If I don't know here, like for the county as a whole, if there are a lot of staff that have had to miss work because of COVID-19, or that's something to look at that the county could apply for to offset. It looked like it could be used for that. Something maybe we need to talk more about. We have until May, what was it,
It's like
20th?
20th, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So we could definitely discuss that more.
Which PPE stuff is something I was wondering about, if we're gonna need to have as we
Long term.
start to try to allow more public into our facilities.
Well, and I like the cloth mask idea.
Yes.
Especially the higher grade ones, if there'd be a way to apply for funding for something like that for community members, for cloth masks, or employers from the county, I think that would be a really good idea. Something that's reusable, you know.
Right, not a one-time, but
Not just throwing it away, because this could last for, you know, a long time, where people in the community need to wear those cloth masks. I don't know what that looks like, you know, I don't know how it'll look when people go back to school. I don't know if that'll be a recommendation. But if they have trouble accessing cloth masks, then it's hard to follow the rules if you can't find one, or you don't know how to make one, or have supplies to make one. So that might be something we could talk with Rusty about, maybe Friday,
Yeah.
see.
The people too that, you know, custom awards and.
Yeah, that make them.
And, Millers, I
'Cause-
guess, sounds like they were.
Maybe get a price and see how much they are, and see how many we could get. I don't know what the maximum amount of funding is on that grant, but it doesn't hurt to ask for it.
Yeah.
That's when I apply for stuff, I'm like, hey, might as well ask, try to get it. The other question I did have, I had a reporter text me yesterday and wanted to know if we had any kind of estimate on how much the county has spent on COVID-19 to this point. I had no idea. I didn't know when we would know that, or how we would
Right.
determine that, or, I mean, I know we're all keeping track of our time. All of the different departments are keeping track. The health department's keeping track of all of our time. I think Heidi could very easily figure up ours, because she has all of our stuff, but as a county as a whole, I didn't know who would figure that up.
Perhaps look at each department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. And that might be something you know, as far as this, work session we're gonna have Friday morning, I might, send out another reminder, you know, to be, each of you, maybe let me know, and I could be the gathering point for it.
Sure.
Say, if you bought anything, any supplies, which I know several of us have ordered, plexiglass shields for our counters and different things like that, you know.
Well, and obviously it's something the public's kind of wondering about, but
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I just thought, and I knew there wouldn't be an answer today. I thought at least I could respond, you know, that that's something we'll have in the future. And it's gonna be ongoing too. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna wanna evaluate that quarterly, you know, like how COVID-19 expenses, because this is gonna be ongoing, obviously, for quite a while, so.
Well, some of that could be, we might be able to get FEMA reimbursements.
Exactly, yeah.
Or grant
Yeah,
funding for, or
sure.
things like that.
So at least
I
quarterly,
didn't
we
know.
probably want to look at it at least a little bit over the several months at a time to see what we're accumulating, but anyway, okay, so I'll just respond that, you know, that we'll be working on determining how much that's been, but
I'll
Friday.
communicate
Okay.
with some of the departments and tell them that it'd be a good thing for us to keep track of and
Mm-hmm.
be able to, at least monthly, probably revisit that.
Right.
How much did we spend this last month and add it to that?
And maybe in our planning meeting, if we could just kind of inquire to the other departments, if, I don't know, maybe employees would feel better coming here to work if they had access to a cloth mask. I don't know, you know, or do they have any
Did
needs?
Susie give everyone one?
She gave a lot of people who didn't have one, I think, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that might be, we can ask if they have needs, that maybe if we apply for a grant, you know, maybe there's something
So
certain
everyone in the
departments
courthouse has
need.
one right now that needed one?
Can't say that.
Okay, I just curious. Gotcha.
Mm,
Maybe we could assess that need on Friday when
Yeah.
we
yes,
plan.
yeah.
Because I know some people, you know, don't feel comfortable still coming back, even though it's been okayed by the powers that be, you know, that we come
Right.
back to work as long as we're spaced out. People are still nervous, so whatever you can do to make them feel more confident and safe is best.
I think most of our work areas, you can meet that
Sure.
socially distancing, but there might be a couple.
It's hard
where they're a little
sometimes.
closer that.
So having the cloth mask might make some people just feel a little bit
Well, I think to
comfortable.
add from our last work session, washing that mask every day and not sharing the
Yes.
mask is a huge deal that some people don't follow.
It's very important for people to not share
Yeah, if
masks
you are
if they
using-
have not been washed.
And the N95s, what's the life expectancy on that?
Now, N95s are single use. You know, if you were in the hospital in an isolation room with a patient and you went in, you what we call don, you'd put it all on. You'd go in, take care of that patient, you'd doff, you'd take it all off when you exited, and then you go to the next room, you put it all on, you take it all off. So they don't have a super long life expectancy.
Right.
Now, the state has come out with a new program, and I sent that out to the LEPC. Entities that are using N95 masks need to save those, like in just a paper grocery sack. Each person needs to save their own separately, put their initials on them. The state is starting a program. They have a new machine that will sanitize those. I believe it said up to 20 times that they could be sent in. So it will extend the life of N95 masks. But typically, you cannot wash those in
Right.
anything. They'll just fall apart.
And just because you have one doesn't mean you can wear it for 2 months.
Right. I think a lot of people have worn them when they go out in public. And I guess if it's your own mask, but as soon as you start touching the outside, and like we talked,
There's a different risk.
you can't clean it, right? So that's why the cloth mask, it's going to protect others from you. And I just keep repeating that because I think people don't understand. It's really only going to protect others from you because it's not an N95. The ones that Blake Benson had here in our work session where they had the extra lining that was very good, and they're getting them, evaluated to see what grade they'll be. They might be a very high grade mask, which would be even better, that more protective. But that's why it's important if you make one at home, like out of a handkerchief, to fold it multiple times, like 3 times. And on the cdc.gov, there's a little video how to do it. It's better than nothing. Any mask is better than nothing is pretty much what's being recommended. So, but it only protects others if I might have the virus and not have symptoms yet. It wouldn't protect me from getting it if someone coughed on me. It wouldn't be like an N95 mask protecting me. So it's just important. If everybody wore a mask, a cloth mask, then we would all be protected. But we know that not everyone's going to do it, but the more that do it, the better. As we start opening up and getting out in public more, it's just the more protection, the more layers we can put on, the better off we'll be. So, but washing it every day, yeah. You know, taking it off as soon as you get home. Don't take it off and toss it up on your counter where you prepare your food. I mean, you do things like that without thinking. I mean, we all do it.
Common sense can go long.
Right. Get home, take it off, don't mess with it a lot, throw it in the washer, wash your hands. I mean, even change your clothes or take a shower or what have you when you get home from work or shopping or whatever, you know. It's no different than when you're in the hospital and you want to, you know, you feel like you got those germs on you when you leave a medical facility or someplace where you know someone's sick. It's no different. Their germs are out there. You just can't see them. You just don't know it. So it's good to take measures.
Okay, well,
Okay.
thank you very much for
All right.
everything
Thank
you've
you,
done,
Rebecca.
especially this morning.
Yeah.
Yes. And
I'll stay in case people have questions or
That's fine.
whatever.
that's how I know you're busy.
I'm okay for now.
Okay.
I have a call at 11, but
Because we've already kind of hashed this all out. Danny, you're good,
if you don't
right?
need me, I'll go. Yeah.
I think
You
you're
guys
good to
can
go.
come
I
in.
really
Okay.
do.
Since I've got a conference
You
call.
put your time in
Okay.
since 8 o'clock.
It's my job.
I know. but
Document is awesome.
It's hard to do your job when you're
Good.
talking.
Yes.
about
Like it.
Yes.
All right. Well, I
Thank you
have
very
my
much
cell phone
again.
If you get a question.
You bet. Thank
Okay.
you.
Do. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Danny, you're good, correct?
Excuse me?
You don't have anything to add?
Just want to talk about an opening, is that what we're gonna do? For us.
Yeah, go ahead, come up here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm anticipating that we're gonna open the tag, as Joe.
Oh, yeah, we talked. Go
courthouse
ahead.
and that
I
kind
forgot
of
about that.
stuff. So, just for us, we had a meeting yesterday and just discussed how we were gonna operate, anticipating that the stay-at-home order was gonna open up. So, with him opening the tag office, of course, people are gonna want some of their out-of-state paperwork done to the VIN. So, we've actually, came up with a plan yesterday to do a drive-through VIN inspection because we're anticipating the weather not to be good next week. It's just a chance of rain. Otherwise, we're gonna basically keep our lobby closed still. I just don't want a
Sure.
bum rush of people coming next week and the lobby's full of, you know, everybody that's trying to catch up with their business that they want to get taken care of. So basically what our plan is we'll probably do some fingerprinting. So we will let people come in to do, because you got teachers that are trying to renew their certificates, you got nurses that are trying to get their paperwork done. So we'll do some fingerprinting, and we're going to do next week. We're going to do all week a drive-through VIN inspection, basically through our Sallyport. So we've got it set up where we won't have any congestion on Enterprise Drive. I'm just anticipating a lot of people showing up, and I
Right.
don't know. We will probably go ahead and try to do some by the alphabet a little bit to try to screen that a little bit, just because I don't know. I mean, and we're not going to turn people away, but if we can filter that out a little bit, if we do something Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and something else Tuesday, Thursday, but we can get those people to catch up with their VINs, and we think we've come up with a good plan to make sure we can get them in line, get them in the drive-through part, just drive them through our Sallyport. If it's raining that way, employees that are doing the inspections, we can get that taken care of, get them out of here, and they can get their tags and stuff. So, but we're going to keep our lobby closed and just, like I said, keep some of those services the way we've had it, just because, like I said, we don't want to have a ton of people in the lobby at that point in
Right.
time. So,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
we're just going to do that and start to offer some of them services, because I know there's a lot of people with their tags and stuff that really just want to get it done and get it taken care of. I'm sure people are out buying new cars and all that good stuff. So,
Well, we'll see what Friday brings as well, or
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon.
So, yeah,
We'll have a better
that's just
idea.
kind of our plan, anticipating that that's opening Monday, and that's what we're going to be doing. So we'll go from there.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Danny.
Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry.
You bet.
We talked about the tornado shelters.
Mhm.
Rusty got some masks in yesterday, so we got those distributed to all the public tornado shelters yesterday.
good.
So
Oh, good.
we're going to put something on Facebook today, just, you know, encourage people to do what they've always done.
Right.
We don't want anybody not to go take, shelter worrying about the COVID-19 stuff. So
Yep.
we'll put something out today on that. We're anticipating some enhanced weather tonight, so we'll
Is
get.
there a list? Did you
Yes, I'm gonna
compile
put a list out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get a list put out
Good.
there. We'll get that posted today, and we'll get that shot out. But we did get some masks put at those shelters yesterday, and I think we're as prepared as we can be for something like that in terms of throwing a pandemic in with a tornado weather, severe weather. But I think we've got that part taken care of in terms of that. So
Well, hopefully we're lucky on the tornado side of it.
yes. So otherwise, all right.
All right.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you very much. Any more COVID talk? I mean, I think we covered a lot this morning.
Yes, we did.
And I guess likewise, if someone did miss that, it'll be posted on the county website where they can access that entire meeting and the documents as well.
And then the town hall on Thursday.
Town hall Thursday, Friday, we'll see if there's any tweaking needs to be done. And hopefully we'll have something from the governor to work with on that day too, and we'll be ready to roll. Okay, moving on to new business. Dawn,
I don't have anything, sir.
okay, Jim does.
Yes. I have a couple items this morning, and the first one that I am on the agenda for is the Restorative Justice Authority fiscal year 2021 grants. I handed out some paperwork this morning, narrative, and then signature pages. If you have questions, Angie Hadley, who's in charge of that department, is available by the phone. If we come up with some questions that you'd like to ask her, I can get her on the phone. But I told her I thought that I could present at least the grant renewal. It is pretty much what she's done in the past, except there is a new grant that I will talk about in a little more detail. So for fiscal year 2021, the core services that they've provided, 3 of these they've provided pretty much since they've started. And those are the juvenile intake and assessment, juvenile intensive supervision, and case management. Just a quick word on those. The intake and assessment, that is trained personnel available 24/7, 365 days, ready to, on standby, ready to take a phone call from law enforcement that they've picked up youth either as a child in need of care or as an offender. And then they have a system in place that they have to go through, kind of an assessment scoring system, which helps them to determine, along with law enforcement and other agencies, the best way to handle that case when it comes in. Like I said, we've been doing that for years, and that's a good program. Intensive supervised probation is what it means. Monitors youth who have failed on regular probation. So they monitor court orders, they help arrange services with the youth and family to be successful within the community and report back to the court. So those officers are working directly with the court on it. I think juvenile court meets once a week, and then probably more often than that. Case management monitors youth who are placed in the custody of the Department of Corrections Juvenile Services due to youth's behavior and/or crimes committed. Those youth are removed from the home and placed in their foster home, group home, etc. And the case management just checks up on their status through phone calls or in-person visits. A newer grant program is the Immediate Intervention Program, which is part of the 2016 Senate Bill 367, which made some big changes to juvenile services. That program provides services to eligible youth in an effort to avoid prosecution. So it's kind of what you think in the adult areas diversion program, but allows them to obtain referred to services by the county attorney who meet criteria and then avoid the criminal process. Those 4 programs are the comprehensive plan grant at $311,233.69. On the next page is a grant that they've received since 2016, a reinvestment grant. It's part of the Juvenile Justice Reform Bill, and it was intended to improve the way in which state works with and assists youth serviced by the juvenile justice system. It really is trying to get evidence-based programs to provide for reinvestment in community programs. Earlier research said that communities maybe lacked evidence-based programs, services were costly, often lengthy wait lists existed, that's throughout the state, not necessarily naming any community. I'll move down to what our local RJ is proposing again is wraparound services. And that is a family-driven process that utilizes the strength of the youth and family programming as well as family and community supports to create an individual plan for that family's needs. So that amount is $66,262. And finally, a new program which has come out of the 2016 legislation. That is a Juvenile Correction Advisory Board called the JCAB, Evidence-Based Program Grant. What's new about that is that it is actually a program through the JCAB. The JCAB is a it's a statutory group of about 12 to 15 members, law enforcement, juvenile attorneys, juvenile providers, that basically review our juvenile system, review the programs that are run. They meet every so often to do that. But this allows them to actually have a program that they can use to determine the need that they see in the community. And what they are asking to be approved is on the next page, and that would be under description of proposed service, kind of getting towards the middle of the page. That is to hire a full-time program advocate. Would be paid through the JCAB evidence-based program funds if awarded. And you can see there a list of what the program advocate would do. Be trained in mentoring for success, to mentor youth, be liaison between the school and youth, to assist with tutoring, attendance, behavior issues, educate youth and families about post-education opportunities, financial aid services, be trained in the offender workplace development specialist to help youth learn job skills, complete applications, obtain employment by working with local employers, set up youth in pro-social leisure activities, as well as teach youth the importance of giving back to their community, supervise community service work, provide transportation assistance, help them with budgeting costs and available community resources for youth with limited support or services. On paper, it sounds like a really good idea because that's things you hear from employers, that a lot of youth come through that maybe don't have some of these skills. So that's an awesome way to help kids that need a push in the right direction to get them employed, get them with some skills that they can use, and hopefully get them out of whatever issue that they are facing and move them on to a positive outcome. So that is a nice program. It's a new program. They're looking for $82,827.23. And so that is an overview of the programs that they look to have in fiscal 2021, subject to approval. Like I said, if you have questions, we can call Angie. Otherwise, I think all we need then is approval for the grant documents. I've got a signature page for the chair to sign on a couple of places.
And Dawn.
And Dawn, yeah.
With the exception of one of these programs, they're all reoccurring, right?
Yes, and hopefully the new one will be reoccurring, but yeah, it's just, we'll have to see how many applications they get statewide and what they can afford to fund, so.
Right. Questions?
I have none.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If there's no further questions, I'll move we grant the application for the grants, authorizing the chair to sign.
Second.
How many copies of this you need?
2 would be plenty.
Okay.
Okay, I have one more item that was not on the agenda, and that is also in front of you. I handed out information regarding the HRRR project, which we were awarded one of our projects, and that is on 260th Street. It'd be a continuation of a project that went from 171 to 126, and then we'll be doing 126 to 160 in this round. So the papers that you have here will move that forward, and the first one is an approval to move forward with Chris Pross of Cyclone Engineering LLC. He's the one that helped us out on the original HRRR project. His services are included, scope of services, survey and layout, provide the plans, inspects as needed by KDOT. He used to work for KDOT, so he's well aware of what's needed for these projects, attend the meetings, assist in gathering right-of-way that might be needed. His third page is a breakdown of his pay estimate, of what his work estimate of what the work would cost, which is in budget with the document that you'll see in just a minute. So if we don't have any questions, we can probably approve all this at once. That's what Chris will be doing for us on the project. The second part is, there's actually two of these, so we've only, I think it's only a couple pages, is a called Form 1302 HRRR project. That is a project programming request from the county to KDOT that we do want to move forward with the project. That's a small description of the project from 126 to 160. The project includes aggregate pavement, edge wedge, extending culverts where needed, installing reflective center and edge lines, placing object markers where applicable, and the need was demonstrated. We were fortunate to be one of the first counties to participate in some of the programming meetings that allowed us to have an early shot at some of these projects. So
Good.
I think they're doing 20 or so counties a year, and we were able to get in on one of the first rounds of that. So we have a manual that has all of our roads listed that would qualify for these programs, and we send in as many as we can each year to be funded. So we're fortunate to have been early in on that, and this is a project obviously that's needed. We've had a lot of calls on it. I think we were able to help out with some striping on it, but this will be a nice project. That's a heavily traveled road on the east end of the county. You can see from the project cost estimate, the county, non-participating, which is county, is the $30,047.81, with participating amount that the state will provide, $138,478.05. And what we would need then today is approval of both Cyclone Engineering proposal and the Form 1302 project programming request, if we're comfortable moving forward.
Did they take care of the letting process on this?
Yes.
You need all three commissioners' signatures.
Yes.
Steve, on that.
Yes.
Any questions? I'll move, we grant the contract with Cyclone Engineering as well as Form 1302.
Yes.
Authorizing all to sign.
Yes.
Second.
So these two I have, are these the official two you want?
You
Just
have
need
the
two?
official signature pages, yes. But I would like an extra copy of the
Okay, that's fine.
Cyclone signed.
So how many do you want? Just the two then? Or
Just one more, right. What
Okay.
Bruce has and then one more
Okay.
would be fine.
So this official Cyclone one is this,
Just, is that one just the chair?
You have the official page.
yeah. So then there's two more in here.
Right. Not sure why,
Look at it, make sure that it is.
yeah. It'll work.
This one? In the clouds.
No more.
Okay.
Thank you. Couple of other things I want to mention. When we do look at reopening the courthouse, and probably the judicial center will be our two places that have a lot of traffic,
Right?
that we think about doing what we had proposed doing, and then it kind of fell off the rails with the governor's order, was having someone here to ask the
Oh.
questions and maybe take
Mhm.
temperatures for at least maybe 2 weeks and maybe a month. And I know that may involve some staffing issues, but I thought if I mentioned it today, maybe I could talk to Randy Sandberg. I thought he might be here today, but instead of throwing that on him Friday and trying to come up with something, I do think we should do that, because we will have, especially I know in the treasurer's office with tags due, second half taxes due,
Yeah.
they're gonna be busy.
Mhm.
So I think we do need somebody here, and not sure what Pittsburgh is gonna look like yet, but when that reopens, we'll definitely want
What,
somebody.
is there any
too.
word on the court? What
I,
changes going on there yet?
not necessarily.
Okay.
There's anything.
I hadn't heard anything, I just didn't.
No,
know.
I have not, I haven't seen an order yet.
Okay.
Reopening, they've still been doing their kind of, running a minimal court.
Right.
With just some limited amount of cases that are
Which that
more of an
limits a lot of the
emergency.
traffic flow.
Right.
Especially judicial centers, so.
And the Pittsburgh office has not been open for tags and taxes, and I don't believe it will be open Friday, but I imagine, or Monday, but I imagine Joe can address that
Okay.
for Friday's meeting. And the other thing I want to address that's been asked a few times is about the real estate tax deadline for May 10th. We've had a lot of questions, maybe it's May 11th this year because 10th is on a Sunday. We've had a lot of questions about whether the county can alter that date. Can we move that date back? The answer is no, but we keep hearing things even from the state level that says maybe counties have authority. We do not have authority to change that date.
Right.
That would have to come from the states. That would have to come from probably the legislatures. That is in statute. And we are not allowed to amend tax statute. So just want to make that clear to everybody that maybe thinks that it's a county by county process. It is not. So that May 11th deadline is the current deadline unless amended by the state and probably the state legislature.
Okay.
We still get a few calls about that and had some comments about it. So one.
Somebody from the state, the Department of Revenue, that made a comment to talk to your local counties.
Oh, my God.
About it, like.
Nope.
Like,
Yeah.
No.
No. And then finally, I'd like to request an executive session at the end of the meeting.
How
for
long?
15 minutes under non-elected personnel, discuss emergency management.
How long did you say, sorry?
15.
Okay. Tom?
No, sir, I have no new business.
Jeremy?
I don't have any new business, I don't think. Jim, had I sent you the census mailer designs that
Yes.
Britton had, did you want to go over those? I can send it to Dawn if you
Well, I was
want.
going to say,
Pull it up. Yeah,
Uh,
let me forward that real quick.
Send it to that
Oh, the public one,
public at
right.
crcoks.org.
okay.
I can access that back here.
They'll show up. We'll see here.
While we have you waiting here, anything else the courthouse needs? Do we have everything else we need to reopen? We talked about some shielding and other PPE the other day.
Right.
Is everybody pretty much comfortable with what they have right now, or is there?
We had one email regarding reopening. I think if we screen everyone coming in, including employees,
Right.
It should be at the very bottom.
Make
on
sure
the
that-
scroll, yeah.
I think we're hoping that everybody
There we go.
that wants it will have a mask. And
They're
if we keep everybody
both.
separated, I think we may need to keep the employee that we've had here at the courthouse working the front area. We may still need him for another couple weeks just to manage traffic flow
Okay.
and still have an option of working out from that drop box.
Yeah, I think if people could still use the Dropbox, that's a
Right.
benefit.
idea.
Still have that
I mean, I
available.
think that should be an option throughout this
Right.
whole.
Mhm.
And then try to route people through to where it's not it doesn't get too crowded
Okay.
upstairs.
I was just checking because that was one thing on my list.
Yeah, and there may be some things that come out Friday. So,
Right.
yeah, okay.
All right, so these are the ones that Britton had put together. Now, she said that she has the logo for Count Me in Crawford County,
Yeah.
but they are on a flash drive in City Hall, which she's not been able to get to yet.
Okay.
But so she was asking, as far as feedback, like how it looks, and then if we had a website that we wanted to include on the front part of it, since it'll just be pointing people toward the filling it out electronically
Okay.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
right, a good idea.
And then on the back side, so this will be a postcard. Oh, that's the second. So there are a couple of designs for what it'll look like. So I think if you scroll down, you can see the second page rather than.
Yeah.
Are you able to scroll down rather
No,
than?
well, I just, this is it, but this is one, it's a,
We'll do the.
Yeah, hit page 2.
Yeah, down at the bottom.
yeah, it's page 2.
No,
No.
yeah.
There you
See,
go.
there you go. That's the back side. So she had included then some brief, like, why you should fill this out kind of
Okay.
stuff, about the funding that the county receives and, yeah, the purpose of doing the census, really. I think the other one, Don, if you go over to the left, is fairly similar, and then scroll down. It has the picture on it, but the information included is the same. I think I like the bit where it has the contact follow-up information stuff a little bit more, just so I don't know, it seems clearer and might get more buy-in that way, was kind of my impression, but
Have you looked at what's the cost of the mailer?
we've not
I was just
done that
curious.
yet. We were gonna, I had gotten a call from Pradmar Mailings in Pittsburgh asking about it, and I think we were gonna do a request for bids, if there are any other companies that want to apply for it and get a projection that way. I mean, kind of from what we had seen of what the appraiser's office had done, projected like between $10,000 and $15,000. Is that right?
Oh, that's what I was thinking, 12-ish for some reason.
Right, and that is a letter that they stuff in envelopes, and so there may be less
might
expense
be
with the
cheaper
postcard,
doing a
right?
postcard.
So we're still working on, Kyle Nelson has done a tremendous job gathering addresses from the different communities and then our county address. When we figure out finally kind of the amount of mailing addresses we have, we can put out an RFP, this many addresses, here's what we're sending out,
Okay.
kind of a cost for that to get those out. So that's kind of where we're at. We're pretty much to the end of our address. I think we've pretty much gotten databases back from about every city that we've asked for. So.
What's the timeline? Or what's the
I mean,
deadline?
It was pretty loose because
Yeah.
all of the census deadlines have been pushed back. Like the door knockers to collect from people that hadn't filled it out, like that was supposed to be happening right now, basically, but that's not happening until July, I think. And then the report, like usually, I think it's Congress gets a report on census information by December 31st, but they're pushing that back to April of next year. So we'll have, it doesn't have to be immediate, I don't think.
Sounds like we have time.
Yes. But probably the sooner the better.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Does she need anything from us right now?
I think she was just looking for feedback on the designs, and then we can move forward on bids, I think.
Yeah. So you just want to know which one?
I think so, yeah. And like I said, she said the logo would change. It will not say Pittsburgh,
Right.
it'll say Crawford County.
Good.
I like that one there, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, I think I was preferential to the
I think so
first one
too.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
And then I guess we can go ahead, when we get closer to this, we can put stuff in the Hometown Gerard and the Morning Sun. Hit
Right.
multiple avenues. I don't,
Mhm.
Right.
people have internet access right now. They got a lot of time on their hands. But-
Doesn't take that long.
No, it
5 minutes,
doesn't.
so
That's easy.
do it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
like, I like the one with the courthouse on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
Doesn't
too.
matter.
Okay, well, I'll let her know and see what we need to do going forward then.
Sounds
That
good.
is all I had for new business.
Okay. I think the only thing I want to make sure is in his old business, the courthouse, we got everything lined up for that, so. And the only thing, I guess it's not new business, but just add for people watching this, or if it gets put in the paper tomorrow, that look at our plan, read over it, if there's things you want changed, try to give us input before Friday, because Friday we'll probably be making a decision on that plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to give input if they have it, but
Yeah.
next Monday is not the day. It'd be-
After it's in
I would like to
place and
I
we're
would like to see
doing it.
input before,
Yes.
before.
I mean, even
Yeah.
over the weekend, it's hard.
I know,
to,
don't wanna leave anyone out, and I think we
Right.
tried to cover everything, but I know we're forgetting something. Hopefully not, but,
Right.
okay, moving on to old business. Don,
I don't have any, sir.
Jim,
One request I heard just a minute ago was possibly to have more of those sanitizer, kind of self-serve sanitizer
okay.
stations, maybe around the courthouse.
Mm.
Never used to use those, but yeah, I'm a fan now, so, yeah, use it a lot, so.
Mm.
I mean, so maybe a few more of those around, and I can let
it's hippie,
Hippie know.
okay,
Cool.
From what I'm gathering, they're kind of hard to come by
that's
right
what I was
now.
wondering.
That's what, right, could be, but if we could get a few per floor at least that
Mhm.
direct people to,
Yeah,
so
okay,
that's all I had.
Cool.
Tom,
No, sir.
Jeremy?
Have we had any more word on trash contract stuff?
You know, and not to go, but the cleanup day we discussed and tire pickup, that was all canceled.
Right.
So just throw that out there. I was gonna bring it up last week, but I forgot. Yeah, I don't know what to do on that trash deal. Have they not got back with you yet?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, it just seems like we've been waiting a while. I didn't know if there's something we can be doing.
All right, seems like a lot of things have been put on hold
Right.
Right.
since the
Yes.
virus.
I've got an idea or two.
Okay,
I'm gonna talk to them.
that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then the handbook and pay schedule, we talked a little bit about on Friday.
Yes. Randy's contacted Bucati. We do have some initial cost estimates, but I think we want to look those over first and perhaps get a better idea of what the total price would be, because the review of the handbook is a flat amount. The salary survey or salary study is by the hour, and it's
Oh,
a
wow.
pretty decent price per hour. So I'm hoping that if we said, here's a number of employees or number of different job titles we have, if you could estimate what it would cost, give us a ballpark estimate on what it would cost. Because I'd hate to just unleash
Right.
somebody by the hour.
Blank check,
So,
yeah.
yeah, maybe if we could tell them we have this many employees and here's what we're looking for, maybe we can get a definite price. Randy has sent me some salary surveys from other counties, and they look pretty reasonable. So if this kind of fell through, maybe we could work on something over the summer to fall in line with what they've done. But, yeah, Bucati would be the first choice, and so we'll work to see if we can get a better understanding of the price.
Okay. Cool. I think that's all I had.
Okay. I guess work session Friday, everyone's been notified,
Yes.
elected
You know,
officials.
we've discussed this work session Friday, and I'm fine with it. Would we be better off doing it Tuesday when we know what the plan's gonna be, or, I mean, I'm all right either
Can
way,
we do a work session after the official
Oh,
meeting?
wait until,
till we know, yeah, what the solid plan is.
right, because if we find something out on Thursday, we'll need to change it, and we won't know
Right.
that by 9 a.m.
I mean,
Well, if we know, I mean, I guess that is the deal, but if we know something Thursday, if we get any type of input Thursday, at least
if
We
we
can-
know Thursday, then we can
we can
move
share
Friday.
that, we can share that
Right.
with them Friday and get their input on how it looks with the
Mm.
reopening. That's
That's
true.
really what it comes
Right.
down to.
Right.
Right.
So I guess if we don't hear anything Thursday, then we can cancel that work session
Friday
with them. Is that fair?
I guess.
I mean, I think all we want to discuss with them is what their thoughts are on what this looks like.
Right.
Kind of like,
And
what
what they
does this
want.
reopening look like to the general public?
Right.
Right.
And what they want to do with their employees as
Mhm.
well.
Right.
Yes.
Correct.
I mean, I think that's what the discussion's
So
on
we
to
can
be
go ahead and
about.
go Friday, and hopefully we'll know something Thursday.
Right.
I don't know what it's on change doing it, even if we didn't have a governor's response or.
I mean, I think really the only thing that would make us want to cancel is if, like, she extends the stay at
Well,
home.
that, I
Right.
agree with
Yes.
that. I agree
Because
with
then
that.
we're not gonna be able to change it, but if that part is going away, even if there's no guidance, like, we still, I think, are gonna wanna
No, I agree with that. If it's something.
discuss.
I'm
So,
hoping.
I mean, I guess if we hear Thursday that
And we just kind of play it by
they're
ear.
extending it,
If
then
the stay at
cancel
home
it, but
extends, I
otherwise-
agree.
Yes.
We're wasting our time
Right.
Friday morning.
Right.
Okay.
So let's
So
play it by ear then.
if that works for me.
Okay.
I think that's all I had for old business. So I guess executive session, 15 minutes under non-elected personnel, emergency management as the topic. 3 commissioners, council.
Second.
Aye.
Let's see.
Jim, don't forget about your other civil license. Finally got a rock up my road, I appreciate it, but, and I've done, explained this to Tom, I stopped the truck driver on Thursday when he was hauling. And he said he was on load number 5, that if he hauled 6 loads, he could only haul 4 on Friday. I mean, if they're only gonna haul 5 loads a day, they can be done by 11 o'clock, they can be called part-time, save the county money, and that's the way things are going.
Okay, well, I know for a fact that they're not just hauling by every truck driver.
Everyone I've talked to,
Well,
they have a sheet with 5 slots on it, and that's all they can haul. unless they haul a sixth, then the next day they can only haul four.
So think about it this way, if they have a day where they're rained out and hauling that.
Okay?
Do they get an extra 5?
No, they don't.
No?
Nope.
Because the way it was worked out in 5 is if they were hauling every day, we wouldn't run over budget at the end of the year.
Right.
If you look at the work days we've had, I disagree with that fact.
Right.
If you want to give me that truck driver's name, I'd be more than happy to.
I know so many of these county guys by face, I don't know their name, you know.
But it sounds like the monkey's being thrown from one back to the other. But I've yet to tell somebody, don't put a rock on a problem area if it needs rock. But likewise, they're not putting a rock where it's necessarily not needed, because you have a bunch of problem areas.
Oh, the whole county's in problem area with washouts alongside the road, you know, like we talked before, the water can't get off the road, you know, when you get to that address, then that's gonna help us all the way around on the roads.
So that's what they're doing. So you got a truck driver that's, when they put culverts in and all off one person, because they're putting culverts in, whatever, that's what they're doing at that time.
Well, do you have, and I know you've had your hands full with this virus, and again, I commend you guys for everything you're doing for this virus quarantine, getting a paint on Goody Road.
It'll happen this year. Always gets striped the year after it's
Right, right.
done.
Well, I just wondered if anybody made a mention on when they might get this, and it's hard to do with this damn
It's when
rain.
they're in the area, so.
Okay,
We work on their schedule. Whenever they, in this area, they travel, so people.
I got you. One other thing too, I come in, is that 140th from Goody to the cemetery, that blacktop, and man,
It's bad.
they at least get a couple shovels full. There's some holes that are that deep. They're only about that big around. If they can just get something thrown in there temporary. Because I hit it with my truck coming in and about throwed me off the ditch.
Yeah, that's a temporary shoot flat that's never supposed to be a road, it still is.
Well, it was because you had to do something for them doing the highway.
That's exactly what it is.
Thanks again, guys.
What's it? Hey,
Sorry now for you. I wasn't looking at you. Thank you.
you're welcome. And that's not a bad line.
No.
All right.
Yes. Go back to old business a little bit. The tornado sirens, as far as you heard, they were operational, the new ones they put up, or the new one?
I didn't know that.
I'm
Oh.
assuming so, because they submitted a bill, so I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Uh,
What was that?
Fire station, which one is that?
Our station,
I hate to say the wrong one, because it makes me sound stupid.
I think it's District 3.
It's, it's out, the one out here on the S curve.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, that's 3.
I saw it, it's in the air, I'm assuming it was operational just because there was a bill on it, but. Okay, any old business, we're good? So I guess future business, May 1st, 2020, 9 a.m. work session with elected officials and department heads to discuss employees returning to work. May be subject to change if we get something Thursday afternoon to suggest we need to change that, but right now it's still on, is that okay?
Yes.
Under announcements, courthouse will allow only limited public access through May 3rd, 2020. The offices are operating to assist the public by email and telephone. And the other announcement is people concerned with the reopening plan of Crawford County really should look at the YouTube video of today's work session and respond to the email if they have concerns. Any other business?
Mr. Chairman, if there's no further business, I'm going to adjourn.
second.
Aye.